Right. Good evening, Dharma friends. Welcome back to another Sutta discussion on Mondays at Buddhist Mahavihara. Can all of you hear me? Should be. Can all of you hear me? Okay, good. Okay, so we are going to start off a new sutta today. As you can see, it is called Pattakamma Sutta. Before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So today's sutta discussion will be a new sutta, Pattakamma Sutta. Pattakamma Sutta's text and translation was already posted in the WhatsApp group. I hope that you may uh, have been able to download now, maybe print out, so you could see the sutta handy. And let's get started by looking at this sutta. What is Pattakamma? And then what is the importance of studying a sutta like Pattakamma? Because if you look at suttas, which we've been studying before, say for instance, the sutta we started off our sutta discussions from the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, right? So this Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is presenting what you call the most important elements of the Buddha's message. So it includes mainly monastics, all right? Because it says that pabbajitena na sevitabba, right? And then after we finish this Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, we went to study Sabbasava Sutta. Sabbasava Sutta is about another, I would say, teaching about how to overcome akusalas, unskillful activities in our life. But today's sutta, which we will be discussing, mainly focus on the lay people's life. So nowadays, we see a lot of Dhamma talks, the books, they are mostly about very high-end monastic type of teachings. And as lay people, it is very important for you to study what the Buddha said about lay people's life. How are lay people supposed to practice in their life? So this is one of the very important suttas about lay life. That is why I picked up this sutta. So you will learn more, and you will understand how did the Buddha look at lay life, and how uh, are you supposed to practice your Dhamma journey in addition to what you call the main teachings, the noble, I would say, the noble eightfold path. Has anybody ever come across this sutta in your readings? Pattakamma, Pattakamma, Pattakamma Sutta. Anybody has ever come across this sutta before? Today will be maybe the first time that you will be learning there. Okay. Can I know what are the other suttas which the Buddha taught lay people? Lay people, huh? lay people in particular, not these high-end suttas, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasava, Mahachattārisaka, suttas about jhana, suttas about five hindrances. They actually mostly about monks in particular. But what are the suttas that the Buddha actually uh, taught, uh, especially about lay life and how are lay people supposed to practice? Can anybody think about any suttas? To start with, you can think about Mahamangala Sutta, right? Mahamangala Sutta, which is a very famous sutta. There you will learn 38 blessings, right? 38 blessings. So this is a very famous sutta about how to live a good lay life, right? And then what other suttas about lay people's life, how to grow as a good lay person, how to progress as a good lay person, because you are lay people. Maybe you can say, I can probably hear from this mic. Now, Mahamangala Sutta is one. Another sutta about lay people's life. Have you ever heard a sutta called Sigalovada Sutta? Ah, this is another very important. So it is said the discipline of lay life. You will learn the discipline of lay life in the Sigalovada Sutta. Any other suttas? We have talked. Today's one, Pattakamma Sutta. You will learn a lot about how to grow as a good layperson in Buddhism. What about another sutta? There are many. Vyaggapadya Sutta. The Vyaggapadya, in this Vyaggapadya Sutta, this is another sutta in Majjhima Nikaya for lay people. The Vyaggapadya was a very, I would say, a very comfortable businessman. He directly told the Bhante, we don't teach us very high-end Dhamma, we cannot understand. So we are people who are wearing comfortable, cozy things, and we want Dhamma that is going to really work in our lay life. And then the Buddha started talking things about lay life. So I think it is very important to understand today that as lay people, that there are particular suttas, specific suttas given for you. So you need to read them before you touching other suttas. Of course, you may have been studying other suttas too. Uh, I mean, not lay people specific suttas, but pay more attention to these suttas, especially today's one too. So, Mahamangala Sutta, Sigaluvada Sutta, Vyagapada Sutta, and Pattakamma Sutta. I think as we learn teachings of lay life from the Buddha in the Pattakamma Sutta, you will learn how important are these teachings for your life. All right, so let's go to the sutta, but I want to tell you in this sutta, the Buddha first shares this kind of an idea. The Buddha says that every lay person has four wishes. I would say the majority, yeah? The majority of the lay people has four wishes. And today we are going to learn the first wish. And then the Buddha talks about in order for a lay person to succeed, maybe come true those wishes, there are four other Dhamma practices, four other Dhamma things that they are supposed to do. All right. So we will learn the first wish today. But before that, let's take a look at the sutta. All right. Pattakam. What does Pattakamma mean? Pattakam. Okay. The sutta's title called Pattakamma uh, was given to the sutta because of a reason. The reason is after the Buddha explained the four wishes, and there are and adjacent, I would say, ancillary four Dhamma practices that one has to practice in order to come true, succeed those four wishes. Then the Buddha starts talking how to properly execute, how to properly use your money. Because of that particular teaching of wealth management, this sutta's name title was taken as Patakam. Patakama means worthy. Worthy, kama means deed. That means when you are spending money properly, when you are spending money wise, when you are spending actually wealth, the proper word is wealth, not just money, the wealth properly, then you are going to be blameless at the moment of your death. That means the Buddha said, when a layperson is going to pass away one day, the layperson has to be praiseworthy in terms of his or her, uh, what you call, financial management. Now, for those people who do not know these things, they might think money is evil. I don't have to think about money. Everything has to be anicca. The Buddha said, no. Lay people, when they're going to pass away, they have to be blameless in terms of his or her way of spending money, spending wealth. Otherwise, you will die being blameworthy, not praiseworthy. Anindito means you are dying praiseworthy. That means at the time of your death one day, you need to be blameless in terms of or in regard to your spending money before you pass away. So Pattakama means that you are properly executing, you are properly spending your wealth. That means it is very important as a Buddhist to spend wealth properly, in the proper way, at the time, by the time of your death. That is why the sutta's title was taken as Pattakam. So there are four Pattakams coming up later, huh? Not now, because first we had to learn four wishes, and then we had to learn four Dhamma practices to come through those four wishes. And then we are going to talk about four Pattakamas. There are four Pattakamas, four ways to uh, spend your wealth properly, wise. I think that gives you kind of an overview about the sutta. Let's go and take a look at the sutta first. Huh? Pattakama means, patta means uh, worthy, worthy. Kamma means deed. All right. Now, at the beginning of any sutta, you can see that the senior monks are trying to discuss the background story. Atha ko anatha pindiko gahapati yena bhagava te nupasankami upasankamitva bhagavantang abhivaditva ekamantang nisiti ekamantang nisinnang ko anatha pindika gahapating bhagava etadavocha. Now, what can you see in the sutta? What do you think? Who did the Buddha give this teaching to? He gave this teaching to his chief donor, Anathapindika banker. Anathapindika is already a Sotapanna. But why the Buddha is giving ideas about lay people's wishes, lay people's Dhamma practices, lay people spending money? Because money is relevant even to a Sotapanna. That's why. So he's talking all these things to Anathapindika. And then, let's see, let's translate one by one. Ata, then, ko Anathapindiko, Gahapati. Gahapati means Gahapati. Gahapati means, Gaha means, what does Gaha mean? What does Patti mean? Gaha, anybody? Gaha means house. Gaha means house. Pati means owner, house owner, right? If somebody owns a house, then we can call that person as a Gahapati. So now here, householder Anathapindika, Yena Bhagava te nupasankamena. So Anathapindika approached the Buddha. Anathapindika approached the Buddha wherever the Buddha was staying. Upasankamitva, having approached Bhagavanta, the Buddha, Abhivaditva, he bowed. And then, having bowed, Ekamantang Nisidi, sat down on one side. Now, when you sit after respecting a venerable person, you are not sitting in front of him. You are not sitting, behind him. You are sitting on a side of him, on one side, as a respect, right? So the same thing was followed by Anathapindika. Yeah. Ekamantang nisinnang po Anathapindikang gahapating Bhagava etadapucha. Now Bhagava is the Buddha. Now the Buddha told this Anathapindika, who was sitting on one side. Now there was no reason for Buddha to talk about these things. It was very impromptu, isn't it? Anathapindika did not ask anything from the Buddha, right? He started talking about the lay people's life without any indication, right? So the Buddha started saying, Chattaru me gahapati, Dhamma itta kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi. Chattaru means, Chattaru, Chattaru means, it's a number, right? Chattaru means four. Anathapindika, there are four things. Chattaru, four things. Gahapati, Dhamma. Dhamma means four. Now, Dhamma, another word for Dhamma is things, as you can see here. There are four things, which are Itta means wish for, Kanta means desire, Manapa means agreeable, and Dullabha means very rare to receive in the world for a layperson. Now there are Dhamma, Chattaru means four, Dhamma means thing. There are four Dhammas, four things. Now here Dhamma means things. There are four things that are wished for. Everybody wishes to have them. Kanta means everybody wants to desire them. Manapa means everybody is agreeable for them. At the same time, they are not easy to acquire. They are not easy to get. We call them Dullabha Lokasmi. All right, now I think what we can learn so far is that the Anathapindika, banker Anathapindika went to see the Buddha, and then he's bowed, respected, and sat on the side. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, the Buddha said, Anathapindika, household Anathapindika, there are four things that every layperson wishes for. desires for, is agreeable on, and then, but unfortunately, very rare to receive. Everybody wants, but rare to receive them, hard to receive them. It doesn't mean you cannot receive them, but hard to receive them, very difficult to receive them for many people. Now, today we are trying to cover the first wish. Katami chattaru. At the beginning, the Buddha actually uh, mentions what they are. We will have a kind of a uh, like a quick understanding about what they are, and then we can learn one by one. Today, the first one. Okay, Katami chattaru. What for? First wish that every layperson may have. Bhogami uppajantu sahadhammena. Bhoga means wealth. Wealth. Wealth means everything. Money, properties, right? Everything. Now the problem is there are people who are looking for money and all these things in different ways. But not that wealth comes to many people in a righteous way, in a proper way. Right? As people earn money in different ways. But the first wish that a good layperson has in his or her life is Bhoga means wish, what do you call wealth, uppajantu. Sahadhammena. Sahadhamma means righteously. May wealth come to me righteously. How many of you think like that already? Thought already? Or you just thought, may wealth come to me in whatever the way, not righteously. Now the first wish is, may wealth come to me in ethical way, righteously, in the proper way. But now, if you look at this thought, uh, there may be some situations for a layperson uh, uh, to be not to be choosy about the money. Sometimes, because they have to make a living, they may have to involve with certain careers, right? But if you are really concerned about your life, according to Buddhism, the Buddha said that lay people, always, most of the lay people, they want to have wealth righteously. May wealth come to me righteously, not unrighteously. And it's a good wish, huh? Early in the morning when you wake up, get up, and then do a small meditation, right? Like a breath meditation plus metta meditation, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes meditation, like a fusion, breath and metta together, You do a breath meditation and then a metta meditation. And then you think about your life. Am I making a progress? Right? If you are in the uh, corporate industry, depending on your job, say, am I making enough commissions? How can I approach more people to get more commissions? Am I making enough money? How do I improve even $1? How do I improve myself for the next year? Right? These are thoughts. But how many of you think that may whatever the good thoughts about money, whatever the thoughts about money come to me in a righteous way without cheating on other people, without taking advantage of their kindness or whatever, right? Without swindling them, without deceiving the customers, clients. That is a really challenging thing to many people. But the Buddha said, as a layperson, your first wish must be, may wealth come to me righteously. Now, when you do that, you need to understand the rest too. Ayam patamo dhammo. This first thing, is Itto. That means everybody wishes, most of the people wish, and then at the same time, most of the people, they, what you call, desire, and then Manapo, they agree, but hard to get. But anyways, what we can learn in the first wish is that we need to make this wish. Now, this wish is attached to a lot of things. One thing is not breaking the second precept, right? What is the second precept? Second precept, adinnada. Adinnadana, Veramani, Sikkhapadang Samadhiya. Adinnadana means Dinnadana. You cut the Adinnadana, cut the A, then it will become Dinnadana. That means you are taking what was given to you, right? Are you taking when somebody gives something to you? Somebody is going to give you something. You are very welcome to take that, grab it. But what if somebody is not giving to you? Then at that point, it is becoming Adinnada. Dinnadana means giving, already giving to you. No problem to grab or take it. Adinnadana means not giving to you, but you are going to take it. So this second precept is connected to the first wish. Because let's say you are working in the corporate culture and you are promoting something that is not true, right? It's not true, but you are still promoting that just to make more money. And you have lots of competition with your peers, and you want to do certain more things to get more people, customers. At that point, people might not be very concerned about uh, truthfulness, honesty. Maybe they might do certain things that are not really ethical, right? So there may be some setbacks, some hindrances to expecting money righteously because many people are not able to keep up with the competition. They are not able to understand the competition. They are not able to understand how am I going to make my living further because of the situations that are going on. So second precept is very much connected to the first wish, right? And another teaching about this expecting money or wealth righteously, samma, one of the noble path factors. Samma, what is the noble path factor that relates to the wealth, money, making a living? Samma what? Samma? Interesting. I've been teaching that for many weeks and we had reviews and many things we have been doing. What was the path factor under the Noble Eightfold Path, which the Buddha talks about how to make a proper living? How do we call it? Samma? Is it Samma Ditti or Samma Sankappa or Samma Vacha? Sama Kammanta, Sama Ajiva, Sama Vayama, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi. What is the noble path factor that talks about uh, making a living righteously? Any thoughts? Not any thoughts. And you've been studying for the past many weeks. Okay. And you're going to say, I think I cannot hear. Now I can hear. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, maybe I cannot hear then. Mic is too far away. We have to come to the front. Okay, Samma Ajiva. What is Samma Ajiva? Samma Ajiva means, now I can hear. Maybe you have to talk louder, a little bit louder. Yes. Uh, Samma Ajiva, probably uh, yeah, maybe the technical side has to be figured out later. Okay. So Samma Ajiva means that uh, the person who is on the path has to consider about how to make a living without falling into the akusalas. And we said when you are making an earning, you should not uh, cheat on other people. Cheating is a very big issue. Now, in today's world, cheating is a big issue. Not even it's about money. Well, it's about many things in life, right? Uh, the Buddha said cheating in terms of spiritual life is something like that you or maybe somebody is trying to motivate, encourage others to get more respect. Are people doing that in spiritual life? Maybe they are showing that they are better so that they are getting more respect, right? Especially with regard to the spiritual qualities. The Buddha said one should never boast or brag about one's spiritual life. I know lots of Dhamma and I have read, I have practiced lots of meditation, I have done this, that. That is no, no, because that will take you to another Sakkayadit. It's a personal practice and you know what you have been doing and you are the one who is getting the benefit of that practice. Because you have to be very careful about it. Because you are learning Dhamma to overcome those things. What if that you are getting them by learning Dhamma? It is just as that you are getting sick by taking a medication, right? You are taking the medications to recover, but you are getting sick by taking a medication, maybe as a side effect. There may be no medications for that side effect, right? So by learning Dhamma, we should not fall into any akusalas. I mean, those tiny little akusalas we might not see. That's why the Buddha said, in regard to the Samma Ajiva, one should not cheat on others depending on spiritual life, whatever different people have been practicing. I know this and you might not know, comparisons and, XYZ stuff. And also, the Buddha said that there are people who are trying to make living in different unethical ways. Now, one way is that there may be people who are trying to blame others, make them kind of very shameful about certain things, and then to get what they have, right? So we should not even think about such things. So Sama Ajiva has a very broader meaning, starting from not cheating customers, giving a good service to them. And if you are working and you are going to work for each penny you are making, right? So being very truthful to the wealth that you are making. So second precept, and then the Sama Ajiva. What are the other things to think about when it comes to a wish that may wealth come to me righteously? What is wealth? It's not just money. Bhogi means not money only. It means everything. At that time, there were no currencies, right? Was there a currency at the time of the Buddha? No currency. Now you might call US dollar and all that. There was no currency. That's why the Buddha said for the monks, do not accept gold, silver, or perhaps diamond too. Why is it? If you accept them, because at that time monks were not living in temples, right? They had the alms bowl and they are bringing all these gold and silver and they will be looted by the thieves on the way. Sometimes the thieves robbers can kill them. The Buddha said, you don't accept gold, silver, diamond, and all these. At that time, there were no coins, no paper bills, but the goods, maybe the materials, gold, silver, diamond, right? Now, what has happened at this moment of the world? Are many people using coins and paper bills anymore? Not that much. Money has become digital, right? It has become digital because for different reasons, safety reasons, maybe terrorism, right? Lots of reasons. So then we have to keep up with the wealth according to the time, according to how the money is going to be handled, according to how the wealth is going to be managed. Now, when you talk about wealth, I think it opens up a very broader area. Insurances, maybe probably wealth management, probably accounts, right? It's a very bigger area. So whatever the things that you are doing under the name of wealth, you have to keep in mind that you are doing everything righteously. This is a wish. At the same time, Buddha understands that it is desired for, it is wished for, it is agreeable, but not many people can gain it. Not many people are lucky enough to, fortunate enough to have it. But we have to try. You have to try your best to have it. First, that's the first wish. Now we will come back again to the first wish. I want to just show you the other three too, just to have a quick understanding. Now, when somebody feels that I am making wealth righteously and wealth is coming to me righteously, then the immediate thing that comes to that person's uh, life is bhoge ladda sahadammena yasomi agachatu sahanyati sahapajjaya. Now I am getting money. Well, but second, when I have wealth, then what I want is good reputation to me, to my parents, to my teachers. Are people going after reputation now, folks? Are they? Yeah, 24/7. Huh? They want other people to talk good about them. They want other people to highlight them. They want other people to propagate them. Right? It's not bad, right? Having a good reputation is not bad, but don't go after it. Right? If you are going to go after it, it might be a problem. Right? Reputation has to come after you. Don't go after reputation. Huh? Right? Reputation should come after you. If you are a very good person, it will come after you. Right? It's like don't go after money. Do well, money will come after you, isn't it? People might not think that way, but if you are doing well, money will come after you because you are impacting the whole world. You are doing an impact on your field, whatever the jobs you are doing. If you are going after these tiny little things, then we might mess up one day somewhere. Now, when you ask young people in today's world, what are you? I want to make more money, a lot of money, because there are no measurements for my things that I can buy from money. More money. People can't make more money in one day, 1 month, 1 year, right? Salary scales. Anyways, now when someone is receiving wealth righteously, the immediate thing that comes to his or her mind is good reputation, right? to him or her and to his or her family. Then, when there is wealth coming righteously, at the same time, when the reputation after that coming in the proper way to oneself and to his or her teachers and friends, what will happen? Then there will be a third wish that is going to happen. Third wish. What is it? You can see that. Okay, it's a long Pali phrase, but I will just say, Bogi ladda saha dhammena, yasang ladda saha jnati saha upaccayehi, chirang jivitva digamayo aritva kayasa beda parambarana sugating saggan lokang upajjamiti. What does it mean? It means now the person is having a good reputation. Once that person has a good reputation, then the third wish is going to be, may I, having all these, may I live longer. May I live longer. Who would like to die sooner? Although you know lots of Dhamma talks, everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta, but would you like to die tomorrow? I don't think. Everybody wants to spend longer time. But the most important thing is not living longer, but having a quality life, living a quality life with lots of happiness, uh, with the good people, with kalyana mitras, with practicing lots of dhamma, right? But when it comes to this level of having good reputation, after what you call having wealth righteously, then the person is expecting, may I live longer. May I live longer. This is the wish of many people. Then the fourth one is, now, say for instance, you are having wealth righteously, and then now you wanted reputation, and you are having that too. And then now after reputation, you are expecting, may I live longer. Now finally, what is happening is that I know I'm going to die. May I live in a better place after I pass away. Right? This is, I think this is the main goal of many devotees. If you ask from a devotee who is coming to the vihara to offer dana, why you are giving dana, I don't know where I'm going to be reborn. Right? It's a very honest, very innocent kind of a wish. Because Dhamma talks are going all the time. When you offer dana, you will be reborn in a better place. Right? So this wish, right? May I live, may I be reborn in a better place. All right. So these are the four wishes. But today, we are picking on the first one. We have to discuss a bit more about the first one. Well, let's figure out the well. As Buddhists, do we need lots of money? Some folks. I think I may not be able to hear you again. Huh? If you want to maybe talk, maybe you can talk louder, or maybe you can come to the mic. As Buddhists, are we supposed to have lots of money? Are we supposed to, or maybe do we need more money? It depends. You cannot say that every Buddhist should have a certain level of money because it depends. In our sansaric life, we may have done lots of good karma. So somebody might be very rich in this life. Right? Maybe somebody will be rich in this life because of his or her enthusiasm, commitment, especially ambition. It's very important. We have to be very ambitious about our life at the same time, our Dhamma practice. So it doesn't matter. You all need wealth in the proper way, but the proper way, right? Without harming others. What can we do to make this money perspective? The Buddha said, one very important concept. If you want to really make more, I would say, good wealth in the proper way, and you need this primarily. What is it? Virya. You need lots of virya. Remember the Jataka story? That we're going to learn a very tiny bit of story about virya, energy for a business person. Chulla Setti Jataka story. What is it? Chulla Setti Jataka story. In the Chulla Setti Jataka story, there is a wise man who saw a dead rat on the way. What he saw? A dead rat, a carcass, a dead body of a rat. Then, because the man, I think he was a setti, a banker too, he just told something like a very motivational, inspirational saying. He just said, what he said was, if somebody can sell this dead body of the rat one day, if he properly goes one by one, the business, he will be a banker in this city. He just said, when you are surrounded by wise people, you have to catch every word what they are saying. They are very $1 million statements. They are not saying things just out of blue. So the Bodhisattva, our Bodhisattva, Shakyamuni Buddha, he was a Bodhisattva. He overheard this thing. Really? How to become a rich person by selling a dead rat? It's a little funny, right? Okay, I'm going to do it. So then he grabbed the dead rat and then he went to the city and he was saying to people, I have a dead rat. I can sell it to somebody who has a cat. And there was a man who has a cat, was looking for some food. He bought the dead cat, sorry, dead rat. He made some money out of it. Then what happened? Then, uh, then he bought some, probably some grass, and then he sold grass, some stacks of grass to somebody who had some buffaloes. Now slowly, slowly, he's making progress. He was making a slow progress, but it is the progress. And then at a certain point of time, he became very rich because he knew how to make money and how to spend, how to make money and how to spend money without being greedy. Finally, he was very rich and then he became the main banker of the city. Now, you might think that how to do this kind of a business and then become a rich person. It might be a different story in today's life. But we have to take the idea. The idea is that even a small thing can help somebody to become a better person in his or her wealth management. But what are people doing today? Maybe perhaps the stereotype idea, no, no, I don't think I'm going to be successful in this job. I don't think this is a good job for me, right? It's not just a job all the time. It probably the attitude, mindset that people are having. So I'm talking this from Buddhist point of view. Chulla Setti Jataka story, a man who sold a rat became the banker in the city. And finally, it is said that the particular banker who said that he's going to give her daughter as marriage to him. Interesting story about Virya. And in another very famous stanza, probably you may have heard, the Buddha says, how to become a very successful person in terms of wealth. He said, when you are making wealth, don't be so much greedy on the wealth, but make it, make it with enough virya, because virya is very important. Virya means energy. Because some people have virya to start off, but then they fail, then they run out of that virya during the activity. Right? Some people they have the virya to start, energy to start, and they maintain, but before the goal, they are going to fail, run out of that virya. And the Buddha said it's very difficult to find people who are trying consistently until they going to become successful in their wealth. So wealth is important, and don't think that the Buddha is anti money, anti uh, person about financial stuff. He said, make money according to your wish, but never become greedy on that money. But if you directly go on to very higher Dharma teachings, you might feel, oh, what is this money? Ah, I gotta let go everything. That thought has to come uh, within a very good lay life at a certain point, but not in the first place. That's why here Buddha says, wealth has to be sought, wealth has to be earned, but in the righteous way. What are the other areas of wealth, if you could remember? Now, in the Singaluwada Sutta, Buddha talks about there are 6 ways that you are going to lose your money. What are they? Maybe we can search that and find out 6 ways to lose money. I think that's a very good place to learn. But yeah, all right. We'll find out these 6 in another place. The first one, the Buddha said there are 6 uh, ways that you are going to you may squander, waste your money. You have to stop doing that. The first one is heedlessness caused by intoxication. That means you should not be an alcoholic person. That means intoxication by drinks and food can be a problem. Now, you might perhaps misunderstand intoxication means only alcohol. Is it only alcohol? It is not only alcohol. I think I already mentioned to you many times. Even when you are eating too much, even when you are eating too much certain food, you can become drowsy, right? Let's say you are going to eat a couple of rice plates and then you will feel sleepy. Why is it? You have overeaten. That means the first thing is you are somebody who is either alcoholic in terms of alcohol, or you are intoxicated by the food, beverages, because you have taken them without knowing the moderation. So please try to uh, eat in moderation. Try to drink in moderation. It depends on people, right? Somebody's moderation might not be the other person's moderation. But anyways, if you are not, try to keep up with the moderation part of your food, drinks, you will waste, you will unwisely use your money. That's first wrong way to use money. Number two, roaming at roaming the streets at inappropriate time. This means you are somebody who is going to certain places at untimely hours, right? Let's say it's a crime neighborhood, it's an unsafe place, and you are going to just roam around, walk around. The Buddha said. I think this is kind of a ancient idea. At that time, when people walk around, maybe they go around the city at untimely hours, they face lots of problems. Yeah, that's why the Buddha actually said it's better not to go to those places at untimely hours. Second way, because in case you are going to travel and you might be facing issues and you might lose your money too. Habitual partying, party mindset, always want to party, drinks, and then over socialization, right? I think we all need socialization, definitely. We are not people who are supposed to stay in the room only, in your house only. You have to socialize, but there is a limit. There has to be a limit. If you go over the limit, then you are going to squander, you are going to uh, let your money uh, be wasted in those activities. Third, third way, how you're going to squander your wealth. The fourth one is compulsive gambling. Gambling, very interesting. Somebody could be a regular gambler in a gambling city. At the same time, there are other ways to become a part of the gambling. What are the other ways? What are the very minimal ways of gambling now, folks? Is buying a lottery a gambling? Is it? Perhaps it could be, because you trying to buy lottery every day, and somebody might say, "I'm a millionaire. I got lottery. I was a winner, but I've been taking like for 20 years. But today there was a draw, and I could win certain money, right?" So you have to decide on that. I'm not saying that you can't buy a lottery from today. What I'm saying is that it could be a part of gambling, right? But anyways, compulsive gambling. So from a mild kind of gambling like lottery, and then going to a gambling place like a casino and a jackpot, and this kind of a very rough kind of very hard kind of gambling, they all are ways of squandering, as the Buddha said. This is very interesting. Bad companions. That means papa mitta. Who are they? Papa mitta, bad friends. When you are surrounded by bad friends, you are losing lots of things in your life. Do you have any experience with them, folks? That you lost a lot of good things because of being with Papa Mitta, bad friends? Maybe, right? That's why the Buddha said in the Mangala Sutta that it is very, very important to be surrounded by Kalyana Mittas. Why? That is the game changer. That is the changer. That's transformation in our life. Whatever Dhamma practice we do, that Dhamma practice might not be able to bloom because we are not with the Kalyana Mittas, right? So Kalyana Mittas are very, very important. If not, you are going to lose some other wealth. This is interesting. Laziness. Laziness. That means when you are lazy, when you are indifferent, when you are kind of lazy, then you are going to lose lots of what do you call wealth, right? So the Buddha said in the Sigalovada, not in this sutta, Sigalovada sutta, if you want to make a good living with wealth, you should not stick to these, you should not fall into one of these six squandering ways. What are they? Let's see again. You can see them here. Intoxication with the food or drinks, and roaming the street at inappropriate times, habitual partying, gambling, bad companions, and laziness. So these are directly uh, causing what you call mess in your wealth. Now you are expecting may wealth come to you righteously, then you are supposed to avoid these six in order to wealth come to you righteously. What is righteously? This word is also very interesting. Righteously. I want to bring you another example of righteousness. Have you ever heard when you offer a dana to some Sangha members? Have you ever heard the Sangha members are saying that the money that you invested, the money that you spend on buying groceries and all that, the money that you are offering, that money has to be free from wrong money. That money has to be earned in good ways. That means in righteous ways. It is a requirement. In order for a dana to be successful, there are a couple things to be complete. What are those couple things? Requirements, prerequisites. You might think you make some, you buy some food, what do you call, buy some groceries, and then you make food and you go to the vihara and then offer it. You think dana is complete. No, there are certain prerequisites for a dana to happen. Otherwise, dana is not going to be complete. This is given in the Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. The Buddha said, in order for a dana to be successful, there are a couple requirements must be complete. Number one is the donor, the dayaka. Dayaka has to be virtuous. Dayaka should have at least 5 precepts. Your silava. And then the recipients, in this case monks or nuns or whoever, they also need to be virtuous. It's better if it is better. Your silava, silavantesu, tadatidana, dhammena laddana. This is the word. And the money that you are going to spend on the dana must have been earned in righteous ways, good ways, not by uh, cheating other people, not by uh, you know wrong ways, not by misleading people, right? That money has to come from proper, right ways. Dhammenala. Then, supasanna chitto. Your thoughts have to be clean before the dana, during the dana, after the dana. Now, before dana, I think a lot of people can keep the good thoughts. During the dana also, they can. But after the dana, they are sometimes struggling. Huh? They are going to do a post-mortem after the dana. How did the dana go? Did the dana go well or not? Did somebody mess it up? And they are going to post-mortem. And they are going to destroy all the good thoughts they've been having uh, till that moment of time. You don't need to be perfect. You just give the dana. That's it. Because uh, we cannot expect everything to be in a certain way. But there are different people, right? So the money that are going to be spent on the dana has to come from righteous ways, and then your thoughts have to be pure before, during, after. Not even that. Then abhisaddahang kamma palang ular. You must have a strong belief about karma and karma's result. We call karma and vipaka. That's very, very important. Because we know whatever we do with an intention becomes a karma. So we have to be very careful in making karma, because whether you are talking good words, whether you are thinking good thoughts, whether you are speaking good words, right? So that's why karma is very, very important to understand, to become better people, to become better, responsible people. Now, the point here is to understand dhammena latta. The money that you are going to invest, make for dana, has to be uh, good money. Sometimes some people steal money and then they donate to charities, isn't it? Huh? They want to evade the tax. They want to evade certain money. In some countries, when you donate some big chunk of money, they can get a 1/4 of fraction of the money. They can run away from the governments. Right? There are a lot of people there who are cheating on the system. That's why I feel I think that you all understand this. You've been practicing the proper way. But in case you haven't understood the Buddha's idea about money, wealth is this. The Buddhist idea is uh, never ever make money in unethical ways. Try to reduce, try to diminish. At a certain point of time, you are going to understand that you are very happy. Now, at the end of the day, before you sleep, you are thinking, "Nah, I'm making money the whole day, and I have worked hard, and I have no problem. I have no regrets about the money that I'm making today, even in my entire career." Right? If you are a government worker who is working for the government, and if you make sure that I have never even brought even a single clip from the government stuff, even a single staple, even a single pen from the government, I'm so happy. I feel I'm so righteous in my work for the government. And if you are working for a private company, if you are working for the corporate world, if you think that I haven't done, but somebody might question, what if my boss is doing wrong things? So I have to be a part of that boss unethical ways of making money, right? These may be questions that people may have. In the event of that kind of a situation, if you see that this whole processing the wealth is ill earned, wrongly earned, then you can make a choice. But on the other hand, you can't change your careers as soon as you want. And if you want to change your careers, you might be demoted. That's why you have to be pretty concerned. How am I going to make my money and my wealth? Because at the end of the day, righteousness matters to me. Righteousness is going to really impact on me if you are a really uh, good Buddhist, right? And there are a lot of stories about, righteousness. Uh, the word called Dhamma Lad. Dhamma means received in the proper way. So let me share with you a couple more things about righteousness in terms of money. Uh, okay, so did the Buddha ask lay people to avoid certain careers? There is a sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya where Buddha says that don't sell poison, don't sell weapons, right? All that. So this sutta we call, what is it, Vanijja Sutta, in my Anguttara Nikaya's fifth book, we have to understand carefully, right? Now, let's say uh, you may be a vegetarian person, isn't it? At least for the new moon, full moon days, and there may be lots of people like that. And but for the farmers, right? For the farmers who have to give you a vegetarian diet, they have to take care of their places, their farming places, and they may have to fertilize, right? They may have to fertilize the lands because they don't want to. Uh, they do want to keep up with the industrial selling, right? And at that point, they may have to take care of their cultivations, right? And they may, as a result of that cultivation, fertilization, and some tiny animals might be killed, right? So we are looking at this kind of a situation in a very careful way because uh, we may not be able to understand this whole process. But what we are supposed to understand is make a living where you are not making money unrighteously. That is the main point here. Okay, so today we discuss about the first wish of lay people. Your wish, if you are probably thinking about your life, the wish is may wealth come to me righteously. And in order to make this happen, you are trying your best not to make any money unrighteously, and you are understanding how does money come to you, and how are you going to make money without cheating, without swindling, without taking advantage of the customers, clients, and then you are going to make it. And this is the first wish that the Buddha said lay people All right, any questions before we go to any more further details? You can come to the mic and then ask a question.
Good evening, Bhante. Since Bhante says that,
Can you talk to the other mic, please?
sorry,
The other one? Other mic.
this one.
This mic. Ah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah, Bhante.
Yes.
Bhante mentioned that we have to do it modestly, moderately. So let's say if we take alcohol moderately, is it also violating the five precept? Because for us Chinese, sometimes we cook foods with adding some alcohol on it. So by doing that, does it mean that we violate our five precept? May Bhante advise on this? Thank you.
Can you repeat the question again slowly?
Bhante, in the five precept, we have the fifth one. We must avoid taking intoxicant drinks, right? So it means alcohol. So in Chinese cuisine, when we cook, we also add some alcohol onto our food. Does does that does that imply that we also violated our five precepts by doing that?
No.
No, okay.
I will explain now. I
But
will explain.
but
I
in
will explain now.
okay, another
Yeah,
one is
you
that
can
sometimes we
exit.
also take the alcohol in a very minimum quantity so that to boost our blood circulation, just to promote our health. So does it also imply that we violate our five precepts? May Bhante advise on that? Thank you.
Now you are answering the first question in the second question. Okay, let me answer this question. Very interesting question. Uh, Breaking the fifth precept, or I would say intoxication, does not mean the intoxication, intoxicatives. That means intoxication to different people is different. Now, if you look at a wedding cake, right? A wedding cake, a normal Western type of wedding cake, they add brandy and all these things. And if you look at fermentation of certain food, uh, there may be some alcoholic things adding. It's not alcohol content uh, that you are breaking because, as you said in the second question, uh, we are using alcohol. Yes, I mean you might use hand sanitizers, alcohol in different ways, not putting them into your mouth. But what if that you are taking syrup, cough syrup, when you have a cough, the doctors are giving you certain syrup, and then they say um, you may be drowsy. Don't take it while you are driving, you are operating machines. And sometimes when you have knee pain, some rheumatic pains, uh, when you go see the the doctor, the doctor might give you some drugs, heroin kind of stuff, just to minimize the pain. So I mean, this means that uh, if there's a medical requirement in terms of so-called things, it is okay. But you are breaking the precept by becoming uh, drunk, by becoming intoxicated, right? The moment you become intoxicated is the problem, unless otherwise medically not informed, right? Otherwise, using alcohol is done by everybody, right? I mean, not as a drink all the time. Everybody uses them. So you are breaking the. Now you are mentioning about a Chinese food, not even Chinese food. I mean, people are adding certain things to many food. But if you think if you are very guilty about that, you can avoid it. But I don't think that makes any sense. If people are not becoming very uh, drunk and all that, it should be okay. Because then somebody can make an argument. The Buddha talks about rice, pitti sura, odana sura, pitti sura. Uh, that means sura mere has sura means pitti, what do you call, odana sura. If somebody eats too much rice, tell me what is happening. Let's say you are eating 3 to 4 plates of rice. What will happen to you? Tell me. You become sleepy. Why you become sleepy? Because of the starch. And starch has come to a point of intoxication. So then we cannot label that this is alcohol, this is non-alcohol. Sometimes there are things that are not alcoholic, but when you eat too much of it, it will become alcohol. You become intoxicated in a way. Intoxication is the problem, not just the thing. But let's say there is somebody who is going to a party and drinking, becoming so alcoholic, just breaking the precept. But there is somebody who is going to a party who has to socially drink and knows his or her limits, so he or she is not going to be drunk, right? Understanding the limit, that should be okay. But the problem is that somebody is drinking to be drunk, drinking to what you call let go of the consciousness, right? And then he or she doesn't know what is happening. This is the break of the uh, fifth precept. But now don't think that I'm telling that drinking is allowed. What I'm saying is the Buddha said the breach of the fifth precept comes in a way that somebody is trying to be drunk, somebody is trying not to be sober, somebody is trying not to have a situation that he cannot have a sound mind to judge properly. This is the place where you're going to pray. So, answers to the two questions. Number one is that uh, you said in different cultures they add different certain concentrations of alcoholic things, and thereby you ask him whether we are preaching it. I don't think it's not. Secondly, uh, but let's say if somebody is adding too much of that, so people become drunk, then yes. But if it is a tiny drop as a cultural thing, it should be okay because people are not getting intoxicated. If people are getting intoxicated, they have to avoid. They should not take it. On the other hand, you said the same thing here. That means we cannot live a life without uh, alcoholic concentrations onto our medications, cough syrups, and many other things, right? We have to. So, so we have to understand this fifth precept in a way that we are not trying to be drunk and intoxicated. If you are intoxicated, let's say there are some people who can be intoxicated in a small amount of thing, then they may be breaking it, but others are not. Make sense? That's how we are going to look at it. It's not just alcohol, right? Any more questions? We have some time for today.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes. Yes, good
Can you
evening.
hear me? Yeah. Bhante, I
Yeah,
have
I do
a
hear you.
yes, Bhante, I have a teenage son, and he's going through a phase. He said he wants to be a stand-up comedian. So to be a comedian, they're always poking fun of certain people, politicians, maybe some kind of slender, but in a funny way. And also they use a lot of rude and crude words. So I told him, maybe this job will incur a lot of speech karma. So he said, but it's righteous, right? I'm not harming anyone. I'm giving happiness to my audience. I'm making people laugh. So Bhante, can you please advise on this? Thank you.
Intention. I'm not worried about the certain activity. Stand-up comedians, yeah, I mean, they have their own ways of operating, but uh, sometimes our teenagers, they are not very mature enough to make decision. Of course, I mean, it can be not to the extent of an adult, like in your case, as the mother of this son. So even we advise, they might not listen, probably, because they are too energy. This is one side. Probably let him understand life. This is one side to look at it. Second is that if he is very knowledgeable about what he's doing, I would say intention. I mean, just because people are happy that somebody is trying to pick on politicians and corruption, even discrimination, and all this stuff, that might be a problem as a Buddhist. But if he thinks that he has good intentions to probably to you know sometimes make the world a better place in different good ways, not becoming rude. I think not every stand-up comedian has to be rude. I think probably he can make it a little different. I think not. I think you are looking at stand-up comedians with the people you see on the stage at the moment. Maybe he might be a different person in that particular activity. So we can see it in two ways. But overall, what we can say is the intention. If he has good intention to do it in the proper way, in it maybe definitely in its own way, uh, probably too. Sometimes uh, the ways of some stand-up comedians about life give some insights about life to think about. So probably he may have a different way. And as you said, he did tell you that he has good intentions, right? Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how things work. Uh, Maybe a bad decision. Maybe he has a good style. So we will wait for him to. Yeah, I understand he hasn't yet entered into that, right? He's going to, right? We'll give a chance. We'll see how things work. Probably he might quit. Probably he might do it the proper way. So this is what I can see. Otherwise, we cannot say that this is bad or wrong from a different Buddhist thought, because uh, you can't directly take this kind of thing to Musavada, Parusavaja, Sampapalapa directly, but you see some elements. All right. Any other question? Yes, please.
Good evening, Bante. So, Bante, what's your
Yes.
view if a person want to take a law profession? And I understand from the law profession, they are not allowed to choose their customers.
Can you rephrase again, please?
Uh, what's your view that if a person were to choose to be in the law, I mean to become a lawyer?
Ah,
And I understand that normally if you are in the law, I mean these uh, professions, right? Most of the time you are not allowed to choose your customers, especially if you are at the so-called at the lower level. Thank you, Bante.
all right. Uh, we look at some professions in the way how the profession has to work. One profession is let's take the medical profession, like uh, a doctor who is allowed to do euthanasia, honor killing, inject maybe someone who is going to be killed by the law by injecting a lethal injection. The doctor has to do it. Maybe there's a judge who has to make a decision about a culprit, right? Uh, I think by law, every judge has to make the verdict without prejudice. They can't say that I'm going to do it for you. I'm so angry about this thing. They have to do it according to the provisions of the code, the penal code. So in the same way, your question is, uh, lawyers, they have to make some tough decisions and they cannot choose sometimes, right? But the problem is not the activity, problem is the intention. Are we really talking about the intention part of a lawyer? They might do the job. They might have to select, they might have to uh, stand for the person that we see is not good, but we don't know their intention, right? Let's say there is a Buddhist lawyer, huh? Lawyer who is a Buddhist. Now, how does this lawyer who is a Buddhist going to do in the court? He or she cannot choose, as you said, right? But we don't know his or her intention, right? It is like the Sotapanna's, what do you call, the hunter's Sotapanna wife. Remember that? Ah, that's a good story. There was a hunter who is going to hunt animals early in the morning. The Sotapanna wife comes and gives the arrow, bows, everything to the man, hunter. Then somebody asks, hey, you are a Sotapanna. How come you give these things to your husband to go and kill? No, that's my responsibility as the wife. I'm not telling him to kill. So in the same way, although you see from outside that they are choiceless to select their customers, clients, but we don't know what intentions are going in them. Perhaps they have different intentions, but they may be choiceless in a way, but they may have intentions differently than what they are doing. So this is what we can think about. We only see from outside. This is outside. Now, okay, how come he's going to talk, talk on behalf of this very bad guy, right? But we don't know their intentions. Maybe they are doing it in different intentions, because in Buddhism, we matter about the intention, not the action, right? Action has to be okay too, but mainly intention. All right, any more question? We can take one more question only, and then we can wrap this up.
Intention. So I want to ask Bhante pertaining the four precept musawada. We cannot tell lies. But in case we commit a white lies just with a good intention to prevent others to get into quarrel, does it mean we violate our fourth precept? Bhante, please advise. Thank you.
If it is the worst case scenario, yes. If that lying happens to be the worst case scenario, but because let's say there are two people going to fight, we're going to minimize it by saying the truth. We are looking at what could be the best way. Should I tell or not? Maybe I'm going to tell it in a different way. Maybe I'm going to postpone it. Right now, I understand at a certain point, no, none of these things are going to work for this situation. Maybe I have to say something that's not true, technically not true, because I want to save these people. But one day, I'm going to tell the truth. Yes. So that is permissible if it is the worst case scenario, the last thing to do. Otherwise, don't do that. We are supposed to speak the truth. Uh, but if you think that there is more harm happening, oh, you're not going to say that. Because, of course, I understand. These people are going to fight each other, they are bad mouthing, they're doing all the bad things. I don't think I have to be a part of that conversation. Then I might say something that is not, I want to protect these two people's life. But one day I determine and I tell myself, one day I'm going to tell the truth. Because I don't want to be a liar. One day, not today. So if it is the worst case scenario, yes, you might make it technically. It might not be technically a truthful statement because you want to protect life of everybody. All right, I think we have come down to the timing all. almost. So today what we have been learning with the sutta we started off today, Pattakamma Sutta. In this Pattakamma Sutta, Buddha talks about 4 wishes at the beginning. That means every lay person has 4 wishes. And then the Buddha talks about there are 4 Dhamma practices that you have to do in order to come through these 4 wishes. Actually, uh, uh, money, good reputation, long life, and a good rebirth, they are going to be really workable if you practice the 4 Dhamma things that we discuss after this 4. And then the sutta talks about how to properly use money, wealth. It's very interesting sutta. So today we started off this sutta, and we will be discussing this, in the next couple of weeks. I hope that we'll be able to discuss all the sutta stuff. And today, may all the good karmas that we've been making so far by learning the first wish of the Pattakamma Sutta be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away. In the name of all of us, may they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me jnati nang hutu sukita huntu jnatayo. Idam me jnati nang hutu sukita huntu jnatayo. Idam me jnati nang hutu sukita huntu jnatayo. May Deva Naga Mahitika be well and happy. May they protect all of us, especially by sharing all these good karmas. May they protect and bless all of you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. In particular, may they bless your Dhamma journey. May they also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anudantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tuluka sasanang. Akasattha cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tudesanang. Akasattha cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tumang paranti chirang rakhang tutwang sadati. Also, may we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas till we attain Nibbana. This is the greatest wish we are making. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavani nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making today by learning the first wish of the Pattakamma Sutta be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silis nichang baddha pachaino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjato. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Right? With that, we are going to wrap this up for today's Dhamma discussion. So we'll be seeing you next Monday. Wishing you a good night. Safe driving back home. Thank you. 1, 2, 3.